Happy Wednesday. This is Wednesday, the 8th day of December. This is the 53rd episode of season 2 of the Be Your Own Hero show. This season is all about abundance and spiritual abundance at that. I'm your host, I'm Sekouwrites. I am a professional creative and the creator of the Hero Ministry movement, which is all about my effort to uplift and inspire the unhoused community. By the way, HERO is an acronym. I'm wearing the HERO hoodie now. HERO is an acronym. It means helping everyone reaps optimism. And shout out to New Thought Media Network for allowing me this space and this opportunity to talk about my journey of becoming my own hero. I love the way the light is falling, right? Isn't that nice? It's pretty cool. Anyway, shout out to New Thought Media Network. Check me out here Monday through Friday, 9:45 a.m. Eastern. If this show provides you with any value, please consider making a donation. The donation link is in the show notes below the show. Okay, so let's jump into the Hero Ministry Movement news. So shout out to the heroes in the chat. Shout out to Gladys. I appreciate you popping in, and I appreciate all the people coming in. I see there's some error messages. Some of the streams aren't working, so I hope you guys check out the replay. In the meantime, let's talk about the charity run and other things. So, charity run, I was trying to get this uploaded right before the show started and it didn't quite go. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to show this very quick video. This is a video from the 4th annual Hoodies for the Homeless event that happened on Saturday. So I made this late last night and uploaded it today. It's like a kind of a photo gallery thing, and I put it up on our social media. So let me add that in, and you can check it out in 1 second. So there you go. There's a quick little photo gallery of what happened on Saturday. You can check it out on my social media. And also, check it out on my social media, and you can press it to pause it if you want to get a closer look at the photos, because I know it goes kind of fast. It's only 20 seconds. It was a quick photo gallery, but there are some great images in there. Also, if you were watching the show yesterday, you know we did fireworks and shout outs for my mom, who was rounding off the Hero charity run so that each of the Fabulous 5 nonprofits gets $1,000 each. So I looked at the comments after the show ended. So I just wanted to circle back and call out these comments. Shout out to Tim and to Nan and to Gladys for these comments about my mom closing the gap. So wow, woohoo, awesome mom, and yay mom, congratulations. Yeah, that was great. So, and also I got a text message from one of the nonprofits saying, yay, Supermom. So very excited about that, to be closing the gap so that each of the Fabulous 5 nonprofits will get $1,000 for the Hero charity run. And just a quick reminder, that ended up being my effort to run 500 miles to raise $5,000 for 5 different nonprofits, all of which serve the unhoused community in different ways. So very excited to have done that. Okay, so yesterday I read the list of donations from this most recent phase of that charity run, the ones that went into the Pledge It platform, which is the website. It's kind of like GoFundMe, where people made donations. So I read those names, and today I'm doing the Cash App donations. Right, so Cash App donations, shout out to Linda Wellness Warrior. Shout out to Rev Mel's mom. Shout out to John Thomas, who came to us through Simone. And we all know Simone. Shout out to Simone also for spreading the word and for also donating multiple times. I appreciate you. Shout out to Ramona. Ramona is the founder of Unhoused St. Louis. Not only did she make a donation to the charity run she also made a donation to me specifically. I think that's the only donation that was made to me specifically. So shout out to Ramona for doing that. I appreciate it. And shout out to Ramona also for the text message she sent me. She sent me a really nice text message last night about my efforts in this community. So shout out, appreciate that. Shout out to Kelvin Moses. And so that is the list of the people who made donations via Cash App. I got to add that to the people who made donations via the Pledge It platform. And I have to go back to July and collect the names of all those people. I know one name off the bat, Corby Marks. He was my high school friend and my college friend. And he was the person who first decided that he was going to donate $1 per mile in July of this year, when that wasn't even on my radar. It was still just a fitness run at that point. And he was like, I'm going to give you $1 per mile. And I was like, well, I'm going to give it to charity. And so he was the person who set this snowball in motion. So I got to circle back to look at all my notes from July and collect those names. And then we will have a comprehensive list of all the people who have donated to the Hero Charity Run since its inception until now. Okay, so moving on, truck drop stories. As you know, if you've been watching the show, that is my replacement for backpack drop stories. I don't have my backpack full of goodies for the unhoused here in Nashville, but I do have a truck full of goodies here in Nashville. So here's my quick story. I had some stuff in my truck left over from the Hoodies for the Homeless event, and those items belong to a different nonprofit. It belonged to In God's Hand, which is one of the Fabulous 5 nonprofits. So we met up in a parking lot to exchange things. And while we're in the parking lot, these two gentlemen were walking through, and Lisa Sutton, who is the founder of In God's Hand, has become very adept at figuring out who's unhoused. She rarely makes a mistake. She's got her radar up. So she was able to figure out very quickly that they were unhoused, and she waved at them and asked them to come over. And they were cautious at first. And she said to me later that they are often cautious because, you know, they don't want to be tricked or fooled. And she has been aware of some situations where mean-spirited people will do mean things, which boggled my mind. That is something I had never even thought of considering. Like, what? Who does that? But anyway, she told me some stories that I won't repeat. But anyway, so she called them over and she asked if they wanted water. And that seemed to, you know, settle their nerves. And they came over to get water. And then they saw that we had, you know, more stuff. And they politely took one thing each. And we were like, no, you can have whatever you want. And they were like, really? And then they went back in and got more things and added things to their different pockets. And, you know, they were grateful and appreciative. And so just that story made me think about some of the interactions I've had with the unhoused, where they've seemed to be a bit reticent. And maybe that's why, because some people have played pranks on them or not treated them well, which again is not something I ever considered before. So I'm glad to have that in my awareness so that I can be a little more intentional about how I approach the unhoused. So that's my truck drop story for today. And truck spot story, meaning I'm test driving this truck that was provided to me by Nissan. And it's a fancy truck. I told a story yesterday, so I'll tell another story today, just briefly, maybe even two. So people have been staring at the truck. It's fancy, it stands out, it's got red accents. Check out my social media if you want to. Oh, actually, it was in that photo gallery I just showed. So check that out. And yeah, I often look up to see people staring at the truck. And so I was in a parking lot a couple of nights ago, and I was, you know, getting myself together, and there was a car driving in front of my car as I was parked, and I could see that they slowed down. And so I looked up to see why they slowed down, and they were both looking out the window at the truck. And then as we met eyes, I realized I knew them. And I was like, hey, they were like, hey, and they drove off. But it was funny because they weren't looking at me, they were looking at the truck, and then they realized that it was me. So that's pretty funny. The truck is turning some heads. So again, shout out to Nissan for providing me with the Nissan Frontier pickup truck. It's been very helpful, and it's been turning heads. Okay, so next section, hoodies for the homeless story from the event on Saturday. There's been so many stories from that event, and as you saw, if you just saw the video, there was a good time to be had by all. But here's this story that I want to tell today. So there was a gentleman who came by and pointed at the Tennessee Titans sweatshirt that we had out. So not only did we have hero stuff out, we had slightly used stuff that was available as well. And so by the time this happened in the day, we kind of got used to people coming by and pointing at things. And we were like, okay, so that means you want that, right? So he pointed at it. And so we start to get it for him. He's like, no, I don't want that, because if I take it, I'm gonna have to burn it. And we're like, what? And so this turned into this playful repartee about his team. What he says is, my team's cheerleaders makes more money than that team, or something like that. He was basically, thank goodness for Perry, because the conversation kind of lost me. I don't really follow sports, but Perry caught it, and basically he was bragging on the Dallas Cowboys, and so he was bad-mouthing the Tennessee Titans. And so that became our interaction. He would come back every once in a while to talk trash about the Titans and to pat himself on the back about the Dallas Cowboys. So that was a pretty funny interaction. And he was a very well-dressed guy. He had a whole style about him. And he never took anything, but he would come back often just to talk trash. And I think he seemed to enjoy that quite a bit, talking trash about the Tennessee Titans. So anyway, that's my quick story from the hoodies for the homeless event on Saturday. There's so many stories, so I'll keep telling those until I run out. Okay, so it's time to reset the room. It's about 10 o'clock. So for those of you just joining us, please tune in a little earlier. We now start at 9:45 a.m. and it's now a half-hour show. And now we're going to move into the money portion. And I decided to start splitting it into two sections, to talk about the stock market a little bit and to talk about what I'm calling Planet Tech, which is all the crypto, metaverse, NFT stuff. So if we talk about both, we can move along evenly. We can move both of those paths along as we move forward. Okay, so let's start off with our affirmation. Let's do that. Let's go here. I am so happy and grateful to be a multi-millionaire in every area of my life. I am so happy and grateful to be a multi-millionaire in every area of my life, because it's not just about money. It's about abundance, and abundance comes in many different ways, many different forms. If you've been watching Sit with Rev Melissa, you saw her say a word about how my charity run is an expression of abundance, which is nice. That's not quite the way I was thinking about it, but yeah, that's a nice pivot to have. Okay, so stock market stuff. So really quickly, I've been talking about buying the dip this week, which means when a stock that you believe in, this is my definition. My definition is when you have invested in a stock that you believe in and it goes down, then you buy the dip. It is dipped, you buy the dip, believing that it will come back up and you will reap the rewards of having bought it low. Buy low, sell high, right? So that's essentially buying the dip. It's also averaging down. So if you bought in high and the stock goes down some, you could buy